We are making mini quilts today. Can you believe it? This is so easy. It's only a printable. Can't wait to show you this one. It's going to be fun. Hello, my crafty dolls. Thank you for coming to my craft room today. I am Grandma Kitty. Today we are making mini dollhouse quilts. Now, these are so cute. This is really the reason why I started my YouTube channel and my Etsy shop. I wanted quilts for my dollhouse because I love quilts. I've been quilting since I was 16. Very strange hobby for a teenager. I've always been doing it. I have quilts all over my house. I love things that are old. I'm fascinated by them. And I really wanted a quilt for my dollhouse. So I thought an iron-on transfer is the best way to do this. Because, yeah, you can piece a tiny little quilt together, but man, that sounds like a lot of work, very tedious, and it's not going to work out very well. All right, head on over to Etsy, to my Etsy shop. You guys, all you do is print this out on iron transfer paper, transfer it over to a piece of fabric, and you're done. Now I'm going to show you a range of difficulty, you might want to say, to these quilts. It can be super easy from just printing it on paper, regular paper, and throwing it on your bed, or to the very advanced where you're going to actually make a mini quilt and hand stitch the binding all together to really give it that authentic look that I love. Those little tiny details are really what make your dollhouse amazing. And over on Etsy, I have 4 patterns. I have 2 that are for large beds. I have this really nice log cabin pattern that my mother-in-law made us. And then I have this scrap hexagon pattern. So these are 2 that will fit onto a large bed. And then I have 2 patterns for a smaller bed. I have this really cute fan pattern. And then I have this scrap star pattern that we're going to make today. Come on, you guys. These are so cute. Okay, I want to show you where I got this pattern from that we're going to work on today. This is the original quilt. And this was made by my great-grandmother, Gladys. And I remember going to her house as a kid and going into her living room, and the whole living room was a huge quilt frame. She had it set up in her living room, and it was stretched out, and then she would hand sew everything. It was amazing. Now, I wish I could really show you exactly, but every piece on here is hand stitched. She didn't use a sewing machine. So she stitched all these by hand, and then she top quilted it, and then she top stitched it all over. I mean, this is a very large quilt. This is almost a queen size. And I love the patterns. I love the fabric. It's all old fabric, complete scraps. It looks like she used old t-shirts, old shirts. She used old sheets. She used old fabric. A real scrap quilt. I'm just fascinated by all this kind of stuff. So these were done by my great grandma, and her nickname was Big Grandma. And we called her Big Grandma because, not that she was huge, was because my other grandma that she lived with was 4 foot tall. So she was really tiny, and we used to call her Little Grandma. And so Great Grandma was called Big Grandma. And all of my grandmas in the family have nicknames. So that's why I'm called Grandma Kitty. It's because I have 4 cats and 2 dogs, but actually Lucy is kind of like a cat. Really, she's a Yorkie. All she does is sleep all day and tell me what to do. Kind of like a cat. So, I think I have 5 cats. I'm going to say 5 cats. Sounds about right. All right, enough with the quilt lesson. Let's get down to work. Okay, now this is the easiest way to make a quilt from these printable. You just print it on paper. That is it for the easiest way to do this. So if you're not a quilter, not a sewer, I got you. This is the easiest way to do it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut this out. A nice sharp utility knife. It'll make your life better. You can cut right to the image, or you can leave a tiny little edge around it. So we're going to do it both ways. We're going to do two sides right to the edge. You can do this any way you want. So we're going to do the two short sides right to the image. And now for the top, we're going to do a 1/4 inch with a little bit of paper. So we get a little bit of a border. Oh, helps to go right to the end there. There we go. That's it. Now, this is all you need to do. And it looks real because you can see the buckling of the fabric and the stitching. So it does look pretty real, even on paper. So, you got your bed. And kind of fold and see to the floor. Pretty even on both sides. Pretty even on both sides. Kind of pinch where. Now, I don't want to put a really harsh crease. I just want a nice soft crease. Nice soft crease on there. There we go. Put that back. Look at that. I don't even need to pin it. Looks great. Look, that is just the paper. So it looks really good just with the paper. All right, do some decorating. Put on a little throw here and a little pillow. What do you think? Easy peasy. So that is the easiest way to put a quilt in your dollhouse. Not even kidding. So easy. Okay, so we want to do something a little bit more advanced. We're going to put it on actual fabric. We are going to print our printable quilt right onto heat transfer paper. Iron-on paper. Stuff is great. This is stuff I'm using. Now, all of these are different, so make sure you read the directions. What I'm doing might be different to what your paper needs. So, just putting that out there. They're all different. This is a new one, and I did it like how I used my old paper, and it didn't turn out. Like, oh, maybe I should read the directions. And then it worked. So make sure you read those directions. Also, get yourself some white 100% cotton fabric. That's all you need. I got these both at Walmart, by the way. First, we are going to cut around our image. We are going to cut right up into where that image begins. All right, just like that. That's it. So far, so good. So far, we're so good. We're doing it. All right, let's get ready to iron. I got my iron going hot. We're going to put a towel down. And my instructions want me to put this on a hard surface. So I got myself a cutting board. I'm using a cutting board. And I'm going to put my fabric right on top. Make sure you iron this first. And then here is our printed quilt. I'm going to put it face down. You're going to put your iron on the hottest setting. And we're going to put it in, we're going to give it a little bit of room on each side of our quilt. Doesn't have to be perfectly straight because we're going to make it straight when we cut off the edges. Okay. You don't need to pin it or anything. We're just going to take our iron and go right on top of it. Now my instructions say to do this for about 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, I let this cool off. That's what my instructions told me to do. All right, it is fully cooled off. You're going to take your paper and peel it away. Look at that, guys. Beautiful. Oh, that is beautiful. I mean, that is like the best transfer I've ever gotten, honestly. Look at how nice that is. Now it's on fabric. Now we can do whatever we want with it. All right, we have our beautiful transfer now. We need to cut off the extra white fabric around the quilt. We are going to do a 1/4 inch cut all around. So you're going to go a 1/4 inch out from the image. And I'm going to use a rotary cutter. If you do not have a rotary cutter, you can use a pencil and simply trace and use your scissors to cut around. Either way. All right, easy. Go all the way around. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to make a binding, and I want the binding to go onto instead of the actual quilt, because then we'll lose about a 1/4 inch of our quilt. We don't want that. We don't want to waste any of it. We are going to put in a little bit of batting. You don't have to put batting in. I like it. It has a little bit of a cushion. It does make the quilt a little stiffer, so just be aware of that. That one's a little, here, this is the right one. This, you want the batting to be the exact size of your quilt. So just quickly pin this on there. All right. Now we're going to cut this to size. So we're going to go to that 1/4 inch line again. And we're just going to cut off that extra batting so everything is even. My new little grandson is coming in May. So I have to boogie and make him a quilt. I just got my fabric yesterday that I ordered. So when I get it done, I'll show you. All right, so there you go. Easy. Okay, now for the back. So this is going to be the fabric that's going to go on the back of my quilt. This one is a little bit of a yellowed muslin color, and I chose it because it really complements the quilt instead of that bright white. And you can use different fabric. There's you can use a pattern fabric for the back, whichever one you want. Just remember that whatever's on the back is going to be folded and be your binding. So whatever you choose. Okay. So this one, we want a 1/2 inch all the way around. So we're going to Okay, now we have the back cut a 1/2 inch all the way around your quilt. Now we need to cut our corners. So 1/4 of an inch from, we're going to cut that corner 1/4 of an inch from our fabric on an angle. Cut those corners off. I'm going to do that to each corner. Cut those corners, and this will give you a really nice mitered corner. Don't be scared of the corners. Right, now we got our corners ready for a really nice miter. Don't be scared of the mitered corners. We got you. We can do this. I know you can do it. Okay, now we have to iron our seams. You got to iron it, otherwise you're going to drive yourself crazy. So we don't want that. Make your life a lot easier. So first we're going to iron our corners. So I'm going to fold about 1/8 of an inch to the corner of your quilt. And you're going to iron that. So we're going to do all 4 corners. You can lift up your quilt when you do this. And you want the corner of the quilt to be at the fold. Okay. All right, once you have your corners pressed, now we're going to go around the quilt. I'm going to fold it over to the quilt. So you're going to make a fold, and you're going to fold it to the edge of the quilt. Try to keep down. All right, and you're going to iron all the way around the quilt. The corners might look funny right now, but they're going to turn out. Right now the corners don't look like they're going to line up, but they will. All right, we're going to go. Okay, now that we have all of the sides pressed right to the edge of the quilt, we're going to fold it over again. And I'm going to start at the corner. We're going to fold it over again to the actual quilt. You can hear my Holly out there whining. She wants to play. I played with her a little bit this morning, but so there we go. Now you're going to press this again, just like that. And then try not to get your iron to the actual printed quilts. We don't want to ruin our beautiful transfer there. Okay. Okay, to do the corners, up until the corner. Right now this fold, look at that, it's right to the corner of our quilt. And this one is going to come folding over too. That's going to line up perfectly. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. Go ahead and pin that. Corners are lining up pretty nice. We are going to use fabric glue for this. Easy, easy. This stuff is great. This is Aleene's Premium Fabric Fusion. So I'm going to start in the corner. And put a little dab in the corner. We're going to put some down the side here to get us started. There we go. Get your tweezers. You're going to fold this over right to the edge of that quilt. and press. And we're going to squeeze our corner together. There we go. Gonna let that sit for a minute. Looks great. Okay, so you can glue this entire binding all the way around. Go ahead and glue that shut. This is done. We glued everything together. Now this could be completely ready for your dollhouse. It's all ready to go. But if you want to add some more detail, we are going to hand stitch the binding. Okay, now we're going to hand stitch this closed, the binding. We've already glued it. If you want to hand stitch it, I would suggest gluing it first, just to keep everything in place. So first you're going to start with your single string on a needle, tied at the end, simple knot at the end, simple knot at the end, and you're going to start, and I am using, you want to hide that knot. I'm going to stick that underneath, like that. Now you're going to go under the binding through the quilt, but not all the way through. We don't want to come all the way through. Come up, and you're just going to hit just a bit into the binding, and you're going to continue all the way down. You're going to just clip that little bit of the quilt, and then get into the top of the binding. Now, once you get to the corner, I'm going to go through the corner and up, and you're going to pretty much do the same thing. I'm going to go through the quilt, through the corner, keeping to one side. And there you go. Now, once you get to the top, you got your little hole there. You're going to put your needle through the top of the hole all the way down to the quilt. Hide that. And then continue all the way around again. And again, once you get going, that's better. Here's one I've already done. I've already stitched together. Here you can see the white stitch going all the way around. There you go. There's your quilt. All right, our quilt is completely finished. This one I hand stitched all the way around. This is the one I did earlier, so it has the white thread. You can see it has a lot of detail on it. Okay, we're going to decorate the bed. So we're going to put this on here. You're going to need some pins. Try to pin it so you can't see. They're going to push it right into the cushion of the bed. Go ahead and do that. can try to hide the pin into the seam of the binding there. You can't see it. There we go. We are all finished with this. It's all pinned. It looks great. It looks real. You can see the stitching on here. Don't have to do the stitching, no pressure. But it really isn't that hard, you guys. It really isn't. Now we can decorate it with a little pillow and a little afghan. There you go. All right, everyone, that is it. It is finished. Very, very cute. And it really isn't that hard. This is a really great day project to do. And again, we can go from the super easy, just print it out on paper, to the master of hand stitching the binding to make it really look like a quilt. Feels like a quilt, looks like a quilt. All right, we can take this a little bit further and make some really fun quilt accessories for the dollhouse. I have an extra printed fabric here. And what I did is I cut it up, didn't even sew it. You don't have to like make a full quilt. You just cut it up, put it on a quilting rack. Isn't that cute? And then I also made a little quilt on a hanger. All right, guys, let's go to the dollhouse and play. Let's go. All right, my crafty dolls, that is it for me today. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of it. Maybe you did a quilt. Let me know how it worked out. If you don't know what to say to me, please leave me a yellow heart. I'll see you next time. Bye.